and we arrived at the Garden Banquet and Convention Center.
Hi everybody, this is Kenneth. This is Aletta from Ivory Studio Booth. We're a photo booth, content creation, audio guest book company.
Welcome to our channel. This channel focuses on showing you behind the scenes footage of us growing our business and also featuring other local businesses in the GTA Toronto area. We are here today at the Canadian Wedding Expo for the Spring 2025 show, and we are the official content creation sponsors. And this is our booth.
Here is a quick time lapse of us setting up the booth. And this was the final result. After we finished setting up our booth, I ended up going to the front, checking out the other vendors that are also setting up. As you can see here, the front desk is getting ready for the attendees. They were preparing all of the tickets and also the giveaway bags as shown here. The entrance to the Garden and Convention Center is definitely beautiful with very high ceilings, along with beautiful grand curved staircases on each side of the front entrance. They had a few vendors set up in the lobby, which you can see here, and they also had vendors inside the main area. Prior to the show starting, we had a guest speaker and also Melissa, who's the producer, speak on stage.
Absolutely fantastic to see so many talented and dedicated vendors gathered here this morning. Your passion and expertise are a huge part to what makes this expo a success. This year we also formed an official advisory committee, and we welcomed Aletta from Ivory Studio Booth, Nicole and David, and so they are now part of an official advisory committee to help us continue to grow the show, but also get outside opinions. Your investment with Canadian Wedding Expo is far beyond the reach of today, and this year we launched Pinterest, TikTok, and YouTube, in addition to the spaces that you already get tagged. Featured on Dragon's Den, where they got a deal from 2 dragons. I want to chat with you more about that. What happens off the den. Vogue, Globe and Mail, Breakfast Television can be found at the Fairmont and the Four Seasons Hotel and boutiques across North America.
I had to raise capital for this business, so I've raised well over $1 million at this point to get my business off the ground. And that took a lot of practicing. I want you to capture me in those first 5 to 10 seconds, right? So thinking about the key words that make you unique, what makes your business special, what makes your product, your service special. The second thing I always say to people is to make sure to have eye contact, which is what I'm doing with hopefully each and every one of you right now. Have a special UVP, which is a unique value proposition. I found that I could really create something new that didn't exist on the market and make myself unique in the market, which is something that you all do already. You're all very unique. There's so many other slipper brands out there, right? There's so many other event planning companies out there, jewelry brand companies out there, photography companies out there, right? But what makes you really, really unique? And so today, I want to talk about you perfecting and practicing your pitch. So find a buddy, really quickly, you have 3 minutes, go.
Ooh, love it, love it.
Great job, I'm so impressed with all of you, and I'm gonna come around and talk to all of you, and if you wanna stick around and chat with me, I'll be here for another 30 minutes, and thank you so much. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing day.
And of course I had to get some footage when she came over to our booth. A flute performance was going on while the attendees started rolling in. This was right at 12 o'clock when the doors opened, and there was already a long lineup outside. A quick shout out to one of our content creators, Sana, who was taking behind the scenes footage. There were so many vendors ranging from photographers, decor, wedding planners, jewelers, signage vendors, travel agents, food, beverage vendors, performers such as flutists, harpists, dancers, and so much more. In addition to all the performances, there were also demonstrations on stage. The producer, Melissa, also owns a decor company, so she demonstrated how to make a bouquet from scratch. She also made a demonstration on how to create your own backdrop.
And then you have to make sure there's no roses. So you're gonna do. So I'm making sure there's no bruised pieces. When we're deciding.
This was one of the giveaways, but they were doing giveaways every hour, in addition to a mega giveaway at the end.
WPD, BIZ Summit. And if you weren't following us, hit follow. So there you'll see a lot of tips. On our page, we actually feature weekly tips on sales, operations, HR, finance, and a lot more. So there's a lot more than just a twice-a-year conference that's happening. So on there, you can get stuff that can help you grow your business.
That was the closing remarks for 5 o'clock for end of the day, and it was time for us to go home. It is 6 o'clock now, and we are done with the show, all packed up, ready to go home. We are starving, so we're going home to eat now. But we had a great time at the show. It was amazing. We met so many vendors, and our content creators was able to get a bunch of content for us, so we'll show you how that looks like. As you saw in the video, the wedding show did last about 5 hours, so it's from 12 to 5 on the Sunday. So this particular wedding show only lasts about 1 day versus some of the other wedding shows that we've been to last the entire weekend. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I like how this one's a little bit more simple. It's only 1 day, so you set up in the morning and you do the show and then you leave right after. So you get it all banged out in 1 day. But for the ones that are lasting a lot longer, for 3 days, sometimes we need to hire staff in order to do the wedding shows for us because we can't be there the whole time. And it does take a lot more energy in order to complete those shows versus just the 1 day. So this begs the question, is a wedding show worth it? So for this particular wedding show, I cannot give exact numbers, but it is about $500 to $900 depending on the size of the booth that you are ordering. I find that a lot of vendors specifically want a certain amount of bookings. So let's say 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 bookings in a day. But for us, we're more so trying to do wedding shows for brand awareness. Of course, having bookings at the actual day during the wedding show is obviously the best. However, for our values and the way that we run our business, we would want the client to take time to understand what they are purchasing. We book consultation calls with them if they have any questions, and we send them more information if they are interested. So we would get their information, we would add them into our marketing emails, and also we would send a follow-up email just to check if they have any questions, send them more information afterwards, and we find that a lot of the clientele books after the wedding show, after we followed up. So that is one of the most important things that you need to do after a wedding show. So you don't just try to get clients on the day of, but you want to be able to connect with them. You want to be able to understand what they are looking for and for them to do more research into your company so then they would want to book you versus almost selling them on the spot. Was it worth it for us? Yes, I would say a wedding show is worth it. A year after the show, we still get inquiries from some of the shows we've done before. So it's not exact metrics of how many bookings we've gotten from each show, but we do know that it is brand awareness, 1, and 2, we do get bookings and it is a good amount of bookings. For us, even just 1 or 2 bookings will cover the cost of the entire show for the day. Usually for the ones that are weekend long, 3 days long, let's say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, those can cost upwards of $3,500. And for us, only 3 or 4 events that we book will cover that cost. So we would say 100% wedding shows are worth it, but I would suggest for you to choose selectively which ones you want to join. So if you're starting off with wedding shows and you're not 100% sure which one to join, I would suggest to just pick one. So it could be either pricing or the look
or maybe they're very selective with their vendors and you want it to be more exclusive. Maybe you just get a good vibe from the producer or from the team and you just want to work with them just to see how it would go. But I would trial and try out different wedding shows just to see what your experience is with each of them. And then I would pick one or two to continuously do throughout the year or for the next year and after that. The most important thing to do is to make sure that you have the client's information. So for the fall wedding show, we did receive all of the leads' emails, phone numbers, full names, and we did add that to our marketing material. So that way every month we're sending them almost a reminder, but also information about our business, or even just information about things that they're interested in. So they're obviously bride and groom, so we would send them ideas about weddings, new themes, new trends for 2025. Even just following up with all the leads that you spoke to, even ones that you didn't speak to. Even if they attended the wedding show, they probably did see your booth, and even just giving them the information just for them to see is already huge. I feel like a lot of vendors don't do this, and this is one of the most important steps, because this is how you nurture the client and for the client to trust you and to show that you are serious about wanting their business. And that way you gain their trust and they start liking you, and then they would choose to book you versus another business. And as you know, the wedding business is very competitive, especially for us, for photo booth. There are so many photo booth companies. A lot of people get overwhelmed searching for photo booths, and that's why they push it all the way to the end, because they feel that it's not a priority and they need to get their florals, they need to get their wedding planners, their venue, plan all that, and then they kind of think about the photo booth after. So once they get to the photo booth section, then it takes so much time for them to comb through all the photo booth companies, and there are so many. But you need to stand out from the crowd, and this is one way you can do so. Just a note on marketing, a lot of people are more willing to go with you as a company if they've seen you before. Psychologically, they would want to see you at least 7 times subconsciously in order to start trusting you as a business and wanting to book you. So the more brand awareness that you have, the more the clients see your name and your brand and your business, the better, because that way they trust that you can do a good job at their event, at their wedding. Another topic I wanted to speak about is the booth setup. You want to make sure that it represents you as a brand. It doesn't mean that you go bigger, it's better. Unless you're a decor company, yes, you will need to show your decor, you need to show what type of florals that you offer, but other than that, you don't want it to be too complicated, because if you have too much decor and you are a wedding planner or even a photo booth business and you just want to make an elaborate, really nice backdrop, the client may be very confused about what your business is even about and feels overwhelmed. You want it to be straight to the point. For us, we focus on simple, modern designs. We like actually mostly black and white, don't even like props. We don't do the signage props like a lot of the photo booth companies do. No shame on them, it's just a different target market. We target the luxury market, and the luxury market doesn't like the bells and whistles. They want straight to the point, simple, elegant. They want black and white filters or color, but that is the target market that we focus on, and that is why our booth is just simple, black and white, and that is part of our brand colors. Also, ivory, beige is in addition to our brand colors, so we dress the part as well. So you want to make sure that the booth attracts the clientele that you want and not just anybody as well. The last tip I have for you is at the show, make sure you are professional. Don't be extremely salesy. Don't try to force anybody to purchase your services or products on that day, because like I said, you want to nurture the client. Second is that you want to make sure to have meaningful conversations. So just don't push them on everything about your business. It's about the client. They are talking to so many vendors. A lot of people are trying to sell them things. But if there is a vendor that is speaking to them as if they understand them, asking them how their wedding planning is going, and if they have any suggestions, that makes a massive difference. Like, for example, I had one client that ended up booking with us, and I wasn't pushing the photo booth at all. Like, they took the photo home, but the bride actually told me that she was very stressed out about wedding planning and she didn't know where to start. But her wedding was in like 2026. So the entire time I spoke to her about wedding planning tips, about where to start first, where she should spend her time on in the beginning, and then kind of trickled on to more conversations after that. So we ended up speaking for about half an hour, and they just started wedding planning at this time, so they had no clue what they're doing. And later on, they booked their venue about 2 months after that wedding show, and they came back to me right after to say that I had such a great conversation with you and I learned so much from you, and I respect you and your business and what you guys are doing. And they ended up booking us. We were the second vendor outside of the venue that they booked. You want to be able to have those meaningful conversations with your clients and learn about your clients and understand where they are coming from instead of just pushing yourself and your business at them. Lastly, some quick tips is that make sure you are early. Make sure your booth is set up before the time that the show starts. You want to be ready. You don't want to be running around making sure that everything is okay during the show. You want to have promotional material such as flyers, but even better is that you have a certain item to give away. So a lot of people do give away t-shirts and reusable bags and hats and all those supplies, maybe pens. But for us, we wanted something that people can take home to remember us and something that relates to our business. So I definitely didn't want to do a reusable bag, definitely didn't want to do a hat because it has nothing to do with our business. Instead, we decided to give away heart-shaped sunglasses that a lot of brides love for their wedding day, and we branded the side of the sunglasses so then they can reuse it, but they can also remember our business. We also don't have our logos and names plastered all over the front of the sunglasses because I know the bride and groom will never use it again. I want to have something that I can give them that they will reuse again and again. And then if they want to find out where they got it from or they forgot, our name is just right on the side. So you don't need your branding to be out there and crazy. You just need to make sure that it's there, and that is what we did. I ended up grabbing the sunglasses, but these are the sunglasses, so it comes in black and white, but you can see here on the side, both sides do have logos, so hopefully it focuses, but you can see here it's Ivory Studio Booth, and the other side is just IV. And this way, like I said, they can reuse this. Instead of having your logo all plastered all throughout here, they don't want that. The customers don't want that. Think about what your clients want versus what you want. And once you think about that, they will come back and they will find you as a company to hire you for their events in the future. Okay, and that is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed all the tips and tricks that I showed you and enjoyed our experience at the wedding show. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions for us in regards to anything plus the wedding show, and stay tuned for the next video.